You're listening to Behind the Bulldogs, brought to you by Ferris State Athletics.
Off the left side, to the end zone! Touchdown, Bulldogs!
If I'm even having like a bad day on the course or something, I just look down at it and just feel like thankful that I'm able to be out there.
Making sure that we're like where our feet are and we're not thinking about outside distractions.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into another exciting edition of Behind the Bulldogs, episode number 22. Myself, Brandon Worth, my partner, as always, Tatum Outlaw, get you on the good stuff here in Ferris State Athletics. And it's about that time of year, Tatum. It's getting warm outside, and that white stuff's going away, which means it's golf season. So we got two great guests, McCoy and Zach, stopping by, and I was privileged to chat with them about some golf coming up, them going out of state to play in some competitive tournaments.
Yeah, we haven't had golf on yet, so this is exciting. We've done most sports a couple times now, but this is the first for golf, so it'll be a good episode.
Should be a very good one. We will get to that interview in just a little bit, but first, obviously, the Ferris State Sports Slate. What's upcoming will be at the end of the show, but we'll recap what's happened here over the last week. We'll start with basketball. Obviously, it was a tough trip to Wayne State, lost both those games in very tight fashion. Just didn't get the shots to fall late. It was really the tale of two halves for both teams. You know, it was really a contested first half for the women's and the men's. Second half, the Warriors respond on their home floor. They get the wins. But good bounce back, especially for the men against Saginaw Valley right from the jump. They just ran away with that basketball game, and women's just lost what was a really, really weird game. You had the delay, the 45-minute delay, due to an unfortunate incident with a fan that fell down the stairs. Hopefully they are doing okay. But just threw everything off, and it just felt like from then on out, especially in the second half, Saginaw Valley just hit everything down the stretch. So those teams both very hungry going into Wednesday night's GLIAC quarterfinal games, their last games probably this season here at Wink Arena.
You know, for every sport, I feel like it's a common factor that Wayne State especially always going to put up a fight.
Always.
They're going to play hard, they're going to play dirty, and they're going to do anything they can to win. You know, same thing with Saginaw a little bit, but I'd say more so for Wayne State. But, you know, it's okay. We get another chance with them. So, not to spoil anything. But
yeah, the men's will be playing Wayne State. That would have happened on Wednesday if you're hearing this after our Wednesday drop. And then we also will have Roosevelt coming back. They beat the Bulldogs last time they were in this building. So, you know, Coach Westendorf and company want to get an upset. Or I shouldn't say an upset. Revenge is the more appropriate word. There against Roosevelt. Both 3-seed, 6-seed matchups here this week in GLIAC action. We also have hockey to recap. Bob Daniels weekend was this weekend. It was amazing. The fans were on full display, especially in that Saturday game. I mean, it was incredible. It was just incredible to see the amount of fans there. Had two high-quality hockey games. The offense was on full display on Friday night, and one of the most dramatic, exciting games that I've ever seen in all levels of hockey on Saturday night, going into 8 rounds of a shootout. Blood pressure still hasn't recovered yet. I need prayers for that. But it was just amazing to see the turnout, and it was good to see good hockey from the boys going into the postseason as well.
Yeah, and I'm so glad it was a great weekend to celebrate Bob Daniels and for them to be playing so hard too. It just, overall great weekend.
Overall great weekend indeed. They will be facing the St. Thomas Tommies at their place in Minnesota. Very exciting. That will be, I believe, Friday, Saturday, and potentially Sunday if a Game 3 is necessary. A 3-game series in the quarterfinal for the opening round of the Mason Cup.
That's a lot of hockey.
That is a lot of hockey. They're going to do that hockey this weekend.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. They're going to do it. Laszlo Holmes is going to be a busy man. Anyway, we also have some softball to report. We'll get to indoor track in just a moment. I know people are waiting for that. Ohio Dominican didn't get the games in against Findlay due to Mother Nature, as always, wreaking havoc in the outdoor sports. Split with Ohio Dominican, a dominant 6-1 game 1 win. Second game, lost 8-7. It just seems like we can't get the second game losing by a run. These teams are fighting back just enough. But this team's going to be due to get a sweep. They've been playing really well offensively. Just holding it down for game 2 is the only difference.
Hardest thing to come back from in athletics is success. So
true.
But they'll get it. You know, I think even splitting is a great start. So, and it's still early in their season. So
still very early in the season indeed. Also have the track and field results. Very good stuff. I was there on Sunday. The speed was on full display, and it was very exciting. Overall, final standings here for you. I want to make sure I got all the details right so I don't mess it up, because there's a lot that happened. Overall, Jalen Townsend was second in the 60. He was third as well in the 200 meters. Congrats to JT. Cooper Sorensen, second in the 5K, as well as third in the 3,000. Some key contributors there in points. Also had some guys doing very well in the 200. Charlie Sutton, Bryson Frunda, just to name a few. Devin Dennison, great in the weight throw. Bryce George in the shot put as well. The DMR, both DMR teams scored. Very impressive times from them. Sixth overall, I believe the men's were. The women's also, I believe, right around that same mark. Hannah Brock, fourth in the 5K, and just incredible stuff. Whitney Farrell, fifth in the same event. There's so many to read through. You can obviously find all of them at FerrisStateBulldogs.com. Read the whole recap. But just overall, very, very good performances all year long. Overall, men finishing sixth and women's finishing seventh in what is one of the most toughest track conferences in all Division II. There's no question about it.
Oh yeah, and if these names don't sound familiar, I think about half of those names you mentioned have already been on the podcast.
True that. It's like we planned that or something.
Yeah, I don't know. We just picked the coolest people to be on the podcast. So go watch some of those episodes, because a lot of those people did really well for GLIACs.
Absolutely. And a couple school record holders now.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty privileged seats we have over there.
Yeah.
So people got to take it seriously.
Royalty sat in those chairs.
Yeah,
so.
There's no dust. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We also have some tennis to recap for you here. They were in some competitive games here this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I believe taking on Hillsdale, I should say. Nope, correction. Northwood, almost same colors. 4-3 losses for the women's and the men's. Northwood's a good team. There's no doubt about it. And just showing the competitive nature of that score definitely shows it. 4-3 coming down to the last. It's just one of those exciting things about tennis that you only maybe get a couple times. And I know they're going to bounce back looking ahead to next week and a lot of the spring break games for Coach Doran's team. They're going to be ready to go.
Oh, for sure. They're hungry for it. They've been working hard. And, anytime that they have lost, it's been real close. So they'll be fine.
They will be fine indeed. Without further ado, we're going to get to the interview. We'll get to the Ferris State Sports Slate after the interview, but Zach and McCoy are standing by, and we're going to be chatting some golf, including maybe about some anger management issues.
Yeah, and maybe some tips for our golf hobby people. So
that's true. I need them. So I'm going to ask about them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to start, so I'm excited for their input.
For sure. We're going to need it indeed. So without further ado, let's send you to the interview. Now joining us here in the interview room, we have a very, very special duo from the men's golf team. McCoy and Zach joining us on the show. Guys, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. It's going to be a very exciting time for you guys next week. You'll be on spring break, but you'll be playing some golf. But I have to ask, first of all, Mother Nature's never kind in the state of Michigan. But you guys are finally hitting outside now. How does that feel, and how excited are you guys ready to start the spring season?
We're pretty pumped. It's always fun to get outside again. I mean, the winters are definitely long here. But yeah, it's definitely exciting. It's kind of like we kind of use the winter as kind of a time to like refresh and try not to get from like, if you get a little burnout in the fall, you kind of get a little time to refresh and get ready for the spring season. So it's been nice to hit off grass again for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, me and Zach, probably the top two guys that just would prefer to hit outside. So the other day we actually went outside and it started snowing on us, but
nice.
I'd rather hit off the grass with a little cold weather than hit inside on a track, man. So
yeah, even if my practice session's a little shorter and it's outside in the cold, I'd rather do that than practice inside. I mean, we're very fortunate to have a great indoor facility, but I just don't feel like it's the same. Like if you're trying to get ready for a tournament, it's just a little different. It's hard to adjust when you're going to Florida and you've been hitting off of a mat all winter. So, but yeah, we're excited to be on grass again and excited for the spring season.
Totally understandable. Going into spring break, what do you guys do to keep your mental game strong with golf? Because and your season's long, as you just said. How do you keep your mental game strong?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I like to focus on like my routine or the little things. So when you get out there in the match or the tournament, you're kind of sharp on those easy or things that are easy, but can be a little more difficult on the course.
I would say for me, it's kind of just like building up towards the end of to the end of the season. Like try to have like lower expectations to start the season because it's like we're not outside and so kind of just being more easy on myself at the beginning of the year and kind of just preparing myself to know that at the end and post seasons when it all really matters. So just trying to stay patient and not saying I'm not going out there every week trying to win, but just kind of being patient and just being easy on myself to start and then kind of ramping it up. So
For sure. It doesn't matter if you're a pro guy, shooting in the 60s every week, or if, like me, breaking into double digits is nice. It takes a while to get going, in the golf game. When it comes to the mental side of it, especially, and probably the hobby golfers are tuning in to figure this out. When it comes to how you guys approach, might not have a great shot, how to make it just one bad shot, not turn into 2 or 3, especially in a competitive environment where you guys are placing, one shot, 2 shots might be the difference in 10 or 15 places.
For sure. I mean, I think as a golfer, you have to have a really short memory, because you're hitting so many different shots, and if you're thinking about the bad shot you just hit, I mean, you're just gonna keep compounding errors, and you just got to forget quick and try to just hit it again. It can be difficult for sure, because you've hit it in the water 3 times in a row, and
right.
you get on the next hole and there's water there again, and it's like you just got to try to forget about the bad shots and even like the bad tournaments, because every week's a new week and you never know when you're really going to get hot. So that's the fun thing about golf.
For sure.
Yeah, you hear a lot of people talk about having a memory like a goldfish. So I kind of like to think about that. And also, like, in between shots, I like to have like a song in mind, or I don't really have a certain song, but like it just takes my mind off of the last shot, and it makes it a lot easier.
That's cool. People listening, write that down.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people said they liked golfing in their free time. So
that is very true. And that's a Ted Lasso quote, is it not? The goldfish thing?
I don't know exactly. I just know.
I think it might be.
Say a lot,
might have to look it up. Also, do want to, if, for example, bad shot and you want to get some frustration out, what's the best club to throw?
Oh, not your putter. That's for
funny.
Sure.
Not the putter.
No. I try to stay away from throwing clubs.
That's
at tournaments,
good.
But I don't know. It's definitely just a club that hits the worst shot for me. I don't really throw clubs in tournaments, but it'd probably be the putter if I was gonna throw one.
Okay.
That's usually when I get frustrated with.
Okay,
so.
that's
throwing
fair.
them on accident.
Yeah. I'm not saying not condoning people that do throw clubs, but if you had to, putter seems to be a very valuable option.
Yeah,
but, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What are your guys' favorite courses to play on, and why?
I love my home course, Eagle Eye. It's in East Lansing. It's just fun, and I have a lot of people out there we play with. It's a good time. But my favorite course I've ever played is probably either Michael Jordan's course. We got to play that 2 spring breaks ago. That was pretty cool.
Okay.
It's like it's his like own course, and there's an old alumni that played here that actually is a member there now. And he got us out there. So it's like, It was super cool. I was like, from me to you to Michael Jordan, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's wild.
And it's just like, you have to act like you're like a celebrity, like you're just like a Ferris State golfer. And I got to act like I know Michael Jordan, like, cause that's like kind of their safe place to get away from everybody. So yeah, it was crazy. But besides that, probably a course called Oakmont. It's in Pennsylvania.
That's outside familiar.
They're hosting the US Open there this year. So
that's what it is.
I played there. That was pretty cool.
Awesome. McCoy, how about you?
Yeah, everyone loves their home course, so Prestwick Village is one of my favorites. And then we have a buddy that graduated from here a few years ago, and he's one of the assistant pros at Oakland Hills. So Oakland Hills South is one of my favorites. They're
hosting a U.S. Open there in 2030, I think it is.
Maybe. It's pretty late. Yeah,
it's pretty late, but yeah.
For sure. There's some incredible golf shots I'm sure you guys have probably seen, professional level, college level, or even maybe you've experienced yourself. If there was a shot that you could make your signature shot, Jordan Spieth chipping it out of a bunker, or, Tiger Woods' stinger, what would it be and why?
Yeah, it would definitely be a Tiger Woods stinger.
Why wouldn't it be, right?
Yeah, I would be hitting that thing off every tee, so we get a little club twirl in there. Yeah, so for sure, Tiger stinger.
Okay, McCoy?
Yeah, you said it perfectly. A Jordan bunker shot. If I
2 for 2?
Yeah.
Whoa!
a Jordan shirt game would be something I would love to have. So
that's wild. Just for form, I didn't guess those. They told me that before we went. So, but why is it about those shots? What is it about those shots that you like specifically?
I don't know. I just think the Tiger stinger is pretty legendary. Like, everybody just loved to watch him hit it. So, and I'm a big Tiger Woods fan. So I don't know. It's just a cool shot, and it's definitely hard to hit. So, and he does it looks pretty easy when he's doing it.
Very true.
I think for me personally, I like short game would be like, I guess you could consider a weakness of my game. So having a short game like his would, make me a lot better, and it's also makes the game easier. So
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Hobbies outside of golf. I know you guys just
Yeah.
golf and golf and golf, but what do you like to do besides golf?
I like to travel. I have family in Georgia. I like to go there quite a bit. That's fun.
Nice.
But when I go there, we play golf.
Of course.
And go on the lake. But I like hanging out with friends. And the thing about it is, like, I feel like all my friends now, even if they didn't golf before, like when I was younger, it was always like, oh, you play golf. And now everybody's asking me to play golf, like regardless of the sport.
Yeah.
So, we play with we do play with the basketball guys in the summer a lot. That's fun. We play like scrambles. It's like one
We've
of
heard
us.
a little bit about it.
Sure. Yeah, Jimmy.
It's always fun to see Nate, 7-footer, swing a club. It's entertaining. I do give him a lot of my hand-me-downs, and like I'll give him my club, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go extend it, and like I get it back, and it's like the length of my driver. So it's funny, but yeah, traveling, hanging out with family. But yeah, unfortunately, it's like, what do you do as a hobby? It's like, I kind of go hang out with my buddies at the golf course. Like that's what we do in the summer. So, but yeah.
It's a nice social sport.
For
too.
sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Have you seen Bronx fluff it?
I've heard Jimmy's told me about it.
Okay.
But I've never played with Bronx. No. But
Okay.
Yeah.
We heard about that on the last episode. McCoy, going over to you.
Yeah, I actually recently, me and a lot of the guys have been playing some poker.
Oh,
yeah, we do. I do that as well.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, we play poker. That's fun for sure.
And then Call of Duty has been the game recently.
So we live. Our rooms are like on each There's the room you can hear everything through our walls. So I'm usually earlier to sleep, and I just hear and McCoy likes to scream at the TV. So it's like,
yeah, I get into it a little bit.
I'm like, oh hey brother, I'm going to sleep. Like let's keep it down a little bit.
Let's calm down a little.
Yeah, it's like a game, right? Like I don't play.
no,
Xbox.
it's way more.
No.
It's
Campaign means different.
Oh yeah, you got to get the camo or whatever. You got to get a new camo or level up. So
Yeah,
it's a big deal. I get it. I'll sacrifice sleep for his Xbox.
Yeah.
For sure.
for sure.
Appreciate it.
When it comes down to what you guys chose to study and why, looking ahead into your life's future, because golf management does exist here, but obviously, what did you pick and why?
Business administration with a minor in sales. I don't know. I like travel, and I like talking to people. To be completely honest with you, don't really know exactly like how it's going to be, like the business world. Like, college classes, you learn some good stuff, but it's like until you really get out there,
right,
you don't really know. So yeah, I'm kind of interested for the next chapter of my life to kind of see where, it takes me, and could be doing anything. But yeah, business administration was just something basic that I could study and kind of do a bunch of different things with. So that's kind of why I picked that.
For sure.
Yeah, and I'm a finance major.
Nice.
My dad's also he graduated with the MBA and stuff, and minor in finance. And I don't know, I just always like math, numbers. So I just kind of, not really a big reason. That's just kind of all I got for that. I don't know.
Math, numbers, and making money.
He's here to play golf. So
Very true. Very true.
Unfortunately, I had to pick a major.
yeah.
Speaking
There wasn't
of-
a golf team major, so he did finance.
Yeah.
There you go.
Speaking of coming here, when was the moment you guys knew, like, oh, I can do this in college, or this is something I do want to pursue in college? And just tell us a little bit about your recruiting process.
Yeah, growing up, I played like a bunch of sports, and it wasn't until my junior year of high school I really just focused on golf. Mm-hmm. And so I started playing more and more tournaments, got a little bit of recruiting, and then kind of decided that this was the place to be. So,
what other sports did you play?
Football, baseball, basketball.
Wow.
Ran track
Jinx.
too.
Jinx.
Yeah. 400 was my race in track.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I respect a man that can run a 400.
Yeah.
How about you, Zach?
I liked the guys here when I came on the visits here and things like that. Like everybody was super welcoming. So from the first visit, I really wanted to come here. I wasn't like very highly recruited out of high school. Like I kind of got into golf's kind of weird. Like you gotta like kind of know all the tournaments to play in and stuff, and nobody in my family really played. I thought I was a lot better than I really was in high school. So I'm from like a small town, nobody golfs. So like everybody thought I was Tiger Woods, and I was really just like not even like bottom tier Division II player. But I liked everybody here, like all the guys, and I really wanted to come here. I had a couple offers from like GLIAC schools towards the end of my recruiting stage, and I was just like, I wanted to come here. So it was a pretty easy decision for me.
Nice.
For sure. When it comes to the culture of the golf team, right? You guys are traveling quite a bit during the spring season, something track can be very relatable to. When it comes to, the experiences you have, on the bus rides, the van rides, no matter where you're going. I mean, what's so special about that in the team together?
Yeah, I mean, it's a blast. Like I would say, I definitely enjoyed traveling more than I do competing. Like, we've made so many memories. Like, it's just the van rides and things like that. It's just a blast. Like just sitting there and talking and just telling stories the whole time. Like we have so much fun doing it. So it's like everybody's like, oh, you got to go in the van for like 6 hours. It's like, it's really not that. Like those are the quickest van rides. It's fun. So we have a good time traveling. Like everybody here comes from all different like backgrounds and places. And I feel like we're all really different, but we've all really like got along really well. So it's been fun. You get a little bit of everybody here on our team. Like we've got people from Kansas, we've got people from Canada, so it's cool.
For sure. Is there any specific like traditions that you guys do on the bus? Like, gotta play poker, gotta watch this.
We love Among Us.
Oh, we do
but
too.
Zach
I
does
won't
not
play. I'm not a big,
and you need 6.
You're scared,
Sometimes you need 6.
No, I'm not scared. I don't know. I've played it before. Like I used to play it all the time, but
it's so fun.
They're too good at it. It's like I'm like
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
It's not good.
So like they're like they know all the rooms. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like let's just have fun with it. No, like it's crazy.
It gets real. It does get really intense. My
does.
coach has to step in sometimes and be like, guys, we're friends. Like I don't like, let's remember how we're talking to each other here.
Like I'm just trying to like lie, like blatantly lie to their face, and they're trying to like get facts to like try to back up how I was the imposter. I'm like,
Zach's the imposter, and he's faking a task that we don't have.
Yeah.
So
They're like, what tasks were you doing? I'm like, I don't know what task I was doing.
And then you're sus if you don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So like, I'm done playing. Like, I'll sit there with my AirPods in.
Sounds like a rage quit. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
McCoy, I'll give you a chance to answer the question.
Yeah, there's never a dull moment on the van rides. I feel like a guy named Sam Havey, he could just laugh the whole time, which is great. Him laughing makes everyone else laugh. I don't know what it is, but
he loses it.
He just gets laugh attacks, and we have a great time. So
awesome.
For sure.
Any pregame rituals, superstitions? You mentioned you like to sing songs a little bit while you're golfing, but is there any songs like you need to listen to before, anything you need to eat?
Well, last year we had like 4 or 5 songs that we'd listen to in the van before. But personally, I have like 3 ball marks I cycle between, just depending on how I'm playing or feeling.
Yeah.
And I always put a smiley face on my golf ball, but that's about it. Yeah.
Nice.
I like that.
Very nice. Zach, we talked back, and you have a special tradition as well with the ball mark.
I do. I used to have a lot of superstitions in high school, and it was starting to get out of hand. So it's
like chores.
Oh, it's like, I'm like, this is bad. Like, this is getting out of hand. So I don't really have any. I try not to have any superstitions, but I marked my golf ball. My high school golf coach passed away, so I put his initials on my ball. So
nice.
It's kind of something to like. It's probably why it helps me not throw clubs. Like playing bad, I kind of just look at that and be like, I'm grateful I'm still playing and having fun with it. So
very cool.
Awesome.
Before we ask the final question, I do want to ask one question. With Coach Stark, what is it that you love about him, playing with him? Because he's also, he's got to be, as a golf coach, he's pretty darn good at here, by what I hear, and at least what he tells me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I told me the other day, I'm lucky that he can't play in the Michigan Am this year because he's got his wedding, but he did beat me the other day, so I'll give him that. All
right.
He always brings action, so it's fun. He definitely plays different than us he's short and steady. We're longer than he does, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he can dial in the short game.
Yeah, his
his
short
short
game's
game.
solid.
Yep.
I'll give him that. Short game's solid.
Yeah,
For sure.
definitely the short game stuff. He's super good with that. And I'm not a big, I don't really like, he knows this. I don't really like having a coach with me on the course. I kind of like just kind of going and doing my own thing. So he gives me my space and I appreciate that on the course. So, I mean, some coaches like to be all up in your grill. So, but regardless, but he definitely gives me my space on the course, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, he's been great here in the last 4 years. So.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Last question, though, before you go. Zach, you've gotten this question before. McCoy hasn't, though, yet. What is your favorite thing about being here at Ferris State and being a Bulldog?
I'd say my favorite thing is just like the support staff and like the camaraderie with all the other athletes, whether it's Coach Dom and Coach Haynes or Steve and President Pink. Like, they all want you to do your best and succeed at the highest level. So I just think that's the greatest thing about Ferris State.
For sure.
Yeah, I like definitely all the friendships that I've made here. Like, I feel like all of my guys that I've met, I'm gonna be friends with the rest of my life. So that's super cool and excited to see where it takes us. So yeah, it's been great 4 years here, and I mean I like it because it's kind of like it's a little bit, it's not like we don't have like we're not like the big we have all this money. It's kind of like everybody kind of gets it out. Everybody kind of grinds here, and it's cool. So.
For sure. Blue collar indeed, regardless of sports. But fellas, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck over in North Carolina coming up for playing some golf.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Big thanks to Zach and McCoy for coming on to the show. Learned a lot of great things, especially about the sport of golf, and that I'm going to be throwing putters from now on. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, that was a great conversation. It was fun to finally have golf on, and I had a good time. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, golf is such a unique sport, because it's, everybody thinks that they can be good at it because it's very simple as far as the actual physical movement. It's not as grueling as track or basketball or hockey, but it's a very mentally taxing game.
Yeah, and my biggest takeaway was have the memory of a goldfish. So
I'm pretty sure that is a Ted Lasso quote. Somebody needs to quote me and correct it. You should find us at @behind_Bulldogs and let us know if you're a Ted Lasso fan. And if indeed the goldfish quote does exist. I might be going crazy, but I think it exists. So we'll have to wait and see. Ferris State Sports Slate, before you go. Right now, as we're recording this on Wednesday, March 12th. You might be hearing this on the 12th or the 13th, perhaps as well on Thursday, just based on the time it takes to edit. But there will be games that have been had on Wednesday night for basketball. If either or both teams win, they will be playing on Saturday against teams TBD, and they're obviously going to be at different sites depending on obviously who wins tonight, right? The highest seed remaining will host the weekend portion of the semifinal and the final for the GLIAC basketball tournament. So you can find out more at FerrisStateBulldogs.com. Going to be a very common thread and statement for what's about to be read as well. We also have hockey that will be on Friday and Saturday for sure against St. Thomas, and we'll get you the puck drops here in just a moment. Thursday, there will be some softball games next week. There will be a whole bunch of sleuths. Tennis is playing next week. Golf is playing next week. Softball's playing next week. And so we hope to see a lot of those teams do really well while they're going to Florida or North Carolina or any place that's warmer, not named Big Rapids. So very exciting for them to be able to get out of town and play some good teams. But overall, looking at Friday's hockey games, it'll be 8 o'clock on Friday the 7th, and then it will also be 7 o'clock on Saturday the 8th. If men's and women's basketball win, they will be playing on the 8th, site TBD. Right now, it would be Michigan Tech and Grand Valley State for women's and men's, Grand Valley women's, and then Michigan Tech men's. If those two teams win, that's where the site will be. And then if the second seed were to win and both those teams would somehow be upset, then it would go to the second seed. Or if both of those, we're right back in Wink Arena, which is theoretically possible.
So you're saying that if and when the women's have to go to Allendale to play, and it's not that far, right? So you guys are going to support, right?
She said it, not me.
I don't see why else, why you wouldn't. I don't see why not. So you heard that. Women's hopefully get a little win tonight. Go support them in Allendale.
And men's too. We hope to see wins all across the board. And if they do win tonight and they do win Saturday, regardless where they are, they will be playing on Sunday for the GLIAC Championship. All that information all the spring break games. There's too many for me to even, 1, remember, 2, say out loud, and 3, be able to read off my screen. Go to FerrisStateBulldogs.com. Take care of everything for you. One-stop shop for everything Ferris Athletics. And you can even find our show there here.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the memory of a goldfish. We can't remember everything, so you might as well just like look it up. All of the information's online.
What were we talking about again? Shoot, sorry. Anyway.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know. Memory of a goldfish.
Who did we have on today?
I don't know. We're gonna have somebody good on next week, though.
I think.
Do we?
I can remember.
Oh, shoot. All right. Well, I forgot what we were doing, so we're just going to end this episode. Big thanks to you guys. Make sure to subscribe, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, WBRN, and we'll see you next week going into spring break.
Heck yeah.
Going to be very exciting. We'll see you guys later.